Hello my beautiful minds, welcome to the Lyfebites show when you'll be motivated and inspired for your better self. I want to especially welcome all those who are just joining us. Some people call me Eve, some call me Amber. Whichever is comfortable for you is totally accepted. Are you one of those people who's been wondering and thinking on how we can restructure our country, Nigeria? You've been murmuring and grumbling about some certain things that's happening in the country? Well, keep thinking. I, for one, I also have doubts and some questions, and I can't wait to learn some certain things today. Which is why we have invited our special guest to come and give us some tips on how we can restructure our country, Nigeria. There's no other person to get such inspiration from other than someone who is fed up with corruption and misgovernance that has culminated in the country. He is a publisher, the author of the ebook Restructuring or Acculturing of Nigeria, which we will be reviewing in this segment. He's also a digital producer, e-business architect. As a qualified and certified e-learning architect, he has written many articles on this subject. He has a total of 14 years experience in the e-learning industry, and this wonderful soul with all these achievements is no other person but Gregory Ekhator. Thank you so very much, sir, for honoring our invite to talk on restructuring of Nigeria. And also, I have my colleague here with me, Joseph, who is also a motivational speaker and a photographer. He's also going to be helping me with this topic.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome. I have read your book. Wow, it's full of so many information. And I kept wondering what informed such ideas. So what made you author this book at this time?
Because we are at a critical juncture in our history, and we are. It will be to be negligent of me and people of my caliber to watch Nigeria just go down the drain again and do nothing about it. No matter how small we may think we are important to some degree. Now, because of that, I decided I've been recording my thoughts, my deliberations for, say, the last 10 years. Thankfully, Facebook and social media helps me actually blog my thoughts. And so I decided to put it all together in a book. And we're talking about restructuring now.
Yeah.
If we do not get this restructuring right, we might just end up worse off than we actually are right now.
Sure.
And we'll still be restructured, but we'll be restructured just in name only, but still the same old deal. Are we restructuring Nigeria politically? There are other aspects to restructuring that we're not yet addressing.
Yeah.
It's not just the political setup. Are we talking about the economy? Is it just oil redistribution, or what about is it about the Fulani herdsmen? You know, what is it? What are we really doing? Not enough of us are engaging minds. We are accustomed to dismissing, our leaders, not knowing that these leaders, they come from somewhere. They come from us. They are us. When you think about it, the real deal, I think we should be talking about is what are the advantages of restructuring. What are the disadvantages of restructuring? What are the features and the benefits of restructuring? We are not clear on these aspects of restructuring. Until we are clear about these, we'll just stumble into another disaster.
The book contains a lot of facts about Nigeria, one of which is we are ranked number 9 in the world in consuming data. How exactly is this beneficial to the readers?
It is very, very beneficial to Nigerian readers and the world in general. See, data is the new oil. Oil, in the next 10 years, the Western world will not need fossil fuel anymore. They're phasing it out. So data is going to be the new oil because it's fueling economies. It is already fueling economies and will increasingly fuel economies. Google and Facebook are all over Nigeria right now for a reason. Because of data. Nigeria is producing so much data as much as it's consuming, because what's happening is as you consume it, obviously you're going to do something with it. the byproduct of all the data is we are slewing out so much data on social media, and it's all useful to those organizations who know what it means, and I'm one of those organizations, and I'm there's this myth that the black man doesn't read. I'm sure you heard about that, right? Well, until recently, you've been forced to believe that, right?
Well, someone once said that if you want to hide a secret from a black man,
put in a book. And it, to some degree, we almost believe that, but it's not true. You know why I know it's not true? It's proven now that's not true. We are number 9 in the world, not number 200, or because there are about 240 countries in the world, or 238 or so, when you count every entity. Although within the UN there are about 180 something. Nine.
Consumer data.
Yeah, 9.
But is that not different from reading though?
What is reading? If you're reading, you're studying. You see, the thing is consuming the data, but it's not structuring of the data is something else. Learning actually happens when the structured information is taken on board, right? But Nigerians are actually reading. Now, the fact that the information is not yet structured by Nigerian institutions is not the reader's fault, right? It's up to people like me, organizations like you, media, to structure this information, make it useful, more cognitive, include more pedagogy. Well, that's what we call it, in the training industry, so that people can learn in leaps and bounds, grow. And that will happen sooner or later. That's what Facebook is doing. That's what Google is doing. And in the future, there's going to be what's called augmented reality, right? Augmented reality kind of learning, and that's going to take off better in Nigeria than it does in the United Kingdom, because we have more population than the United Kingdom, and to some degree, it's arguably we are more involved in social media than this country is. We are consuming a lot of data, and it will benefit us in so many ways. One of the ways it will benefit us, we're going to be learning more. We're going to be able to use the data we are producing to see. We are lagging behind a lot of things in the world, and that's because we're not learning enough, or our institutions are behind in the way we are teaching our youth information. But now we're able to reach them at a level they understand and they appreciate, which is social media. And all that needs to be done is take the school to the student instead of the student coming to the school, because that's what social media is making happen now. And organizations like my organization, what we do is structure this information so that they can understand it better. Also, quickly, just want to mention that there are opportunities that occur because of this data, this slew of data that's now available on social media. One of them is our problems are actually opportunities. Security problem that we have in Nigeria, the Fulani herdsmen, that presents an opportunity, because when you think about it, digital technology, Nigeria has 2 satellites, is it 3 now, in the orbit, right? All we need to do is put chips on these cows and monitor them using the satellites, and get people on the ground who are skilled to data analyze where these cows are, so we can tell who, also link that with BVN, so we can tell who actually owns these cows at any point in time. So if these Fulani herdsmen are being sponsored by politicians, we can tell who's controlling what. Now, there's an opportunity here. There are jobs opportunity here too for those who are skilled, and that's why we're training data analysts. Also, there's the corruption issue, which we have is a problem. Data analysts will be able to solve that. Now, when it comes to security, again, I'll come again to there's the law and order is not very good in Nigeria.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Right, but when we think about it, because a lot of CCTV technology is not being harnessed. Some will argue that the government doesn't want it done that way. But with CCTV, as you know, like in London, for example, you've got CCTV almost everywhere. With a network and with computer networks, it is very possible, for every organization to have, and even every house to have a small CCTV. Okay, and as long as we got the government okaying this technology and having somebody monitoring it, we'll be able to get everybody networked, everybody being able to control their own security, so that that's an industry on its own. Because first of all, crime will go down, and when crime occurs, we'll be able to track down what actually happened. Now that's an industry. Remember, data analysts providing jobs. Training is another issue, another aspect. We'll be able to, and if you look at my book, there was a table there in chapter 4 about the opportunities with the job opportunities in training and research and development, government jobs, private jobs. There's an unemployment issue in Nigeria right now.
Yeah.
That is actually an opportunity.
Yes, sorry for cutting you, sir.
Yeah.
I read your book and you mentioned all this opportunity. You talked about how we can use it for electoral system, election, for identity card.
Yes.
We can use data for all these things.
You're right.
And I understand that. We have all these opportunities.
Right.
But then the question is, there's a culture shock. Culture shock, like our government to know that these things exist. It's like the church. When TV came out, the church did not jump on TV. They called it the devil's box. And before that time, the world had gone out and done their own information and it destroyed a lot of things. Then 50 years later, the pastors started going on TV to share them. So that's the delay. That's the cultural lag. Right. Now, the issue is we know technology exists in Nigeria and everyone is accessing it. But why is our government not actually taking full use of this technology? How can we rectify that problem?
That's a good, well, you know what, that's a brilliant question. Some would say, and I would not blame them, that there's a conspiracy to ignore the technology because, they have their hands dirty and they want to keep things the way it is right now. And now, what was it? 2 months ago I was in Nigeria and I did a media chat show on Sahara TV and actually did one President Buhari, that look, you need to do something about the Fulani headsmen now before it gets to a situation whereby it's being hijacked by terrorists, by politicians, because they are dirty people. When I say dirty people, I mean people who got negative agenda to seize opportunities to cause mayhem because it serves their own purpose. So maybe the government is, it looks like to me that they're not seizing opportunities because we know Nigeria has satellites in orbit. We also know Nigeria has BVN already now. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that you can add 1 and 1 together to get 2. But they're not just doing it. But also, in as much as maybe President Buhari and the Vice President, who is an academic, have not yet initiated or come up with initiatives to do this, to solve this problem this way, we the people are not asking the question enough. It's incumbent on us too, we have to ask this question and we have to ask it loud enough at the pitch that they cannot ignore. The media is what's called the fourth estate of the realm. The fourth pillar of democracy. And I'm just thankful that I'm part of the media. Social media is a big part of Nigeria right now. We have to make our voice count.
Okay.
It does look like there's a conspiracy, but it's incumbent on us to set the record straight and speak up. Yeah.
Your book has a recurring question. Will restructuring Nigeria change the attitude of Nigerians towards Nigeria, allowing us to examine our person when considering ethnicity and morality? Are you suggesting if Nigeria is restructured with all states in true federalism, it won't make any difference?
The short answer is yes.
Okay, why yes?
If Nigeria doesn't get it right, if Nigeria doesn't have her ducks lined up in a row, we'll just walk into another set up ourselves, you know, of nothing happening, but to make it look like something happened, but it's stage managed. Nothing really happened. There's an elephant in the room. If that elephant doesn't leave the room, the elephant is still in the room. And that elephant in the room is corruption. You see?
Yeah.
We have to get the elephant out of the room before restructuring can happen. This is why we need to get it right. Otherwise, we will just get it wrong again. Regardless of what configuration Nigeria is structured to, true federalism, unitary, plutocracy, and anarchy, or whatever, Nigeria will still be Nigeria, because the attitudes of Nigerians, the culture of Nigerians will still be Nigerian, you see. We have an attitude, we have a way we go about things, regardless of whatever part of the country you come from. And it will still be the same, unless we change this attitude, this culture, this habits we have. No change will happen. That's the way I see it. You know, of course, politically, money will change hands in the short term, but nothing will happen long term. We'll just go back to our default setting. You know, just like your computer, when you've had enough of it, or if you got a virus, you just reboot, right? Yeah, and that's what's going to happen.
Okay, so I've not had the opportunity to commend you on the book. I think you wrote a good book.
Thank you very much.
I just wish Nigerian read books as well, as much as anything. But the question I'll ask you talk more about not just reconstructing Nigeria, talk more about a culture in Nigeria, engineering the culture.
Right.
But then my question is, as Nigeria is, are we really a nation? Because according to, when I read your book, it talked about the emir's son, wasn't it Lamido Sanusi? Yeah. And it talked about how the northern region and every other region made it to be a region where they emerged from kingdoms, where they actually, our grandfathers, he said, made it to be a region. But then we've not been able to successfully become a country and a nation.
That's right.
So we don't have core values as a nation. That's right. So if we don't, as a matter of fact, the only thing that brings us together as a nation is corruption and religion.
Absolutely.
So if that's the only thing that brings us together as Nigerians, then how can you, when we don't have a ground culture, how then can we reculture Nigeria? Like, is it not just prescribing a solution to a prescribed answer?
If you read chapter 7 of my book, I speak of political ideology. The solution is actually the ideology. Nigeria has not yet defined her ideology or what she is, her core values, you know, which you mentioned just now. We skirt around it, but for some reason, I don't know why, our academics just do not have the wherewithal to speak enough about it. You know, I also mentioned in the book that if we have, you know, Lamido Sanusi, intellectuals like him, like Chinua Achebe, late Chinua Achebe, Wole Soyinka, we did not have enough of them in their class to power through a school of thought that we can reference enough to bring about a sea change in our thinking. But perhaps we do have enough intellectuals now, and this is the time for us to speak up, because we may not be able to affect the change now in our generation, but there are generations to come, our children. We don't want them to go through what we're going through right now.
So would you say, so you're agreeing that Nigeria is not a nation?
Nigeria is a nation. It's a nation going through birth pains, like every mother would know, you know. Teething problems we are having right now, you know. America, I read something about 2 days ago or yesterday, that America in the 1800s went through exactly what we're going through right now. No, well, yeah, it was before 1900. Yeah, Roosevelt, I think it was Roosevelt. Before he came in, he was the one who said, there was like a coup, really, you know. There were cabals who were setting up governments and, you know, stuff like that. So we have to go through the process. Just like a child does not grow to become an adult in 10 years, you know, you have to go through the processes to understand so we're going through these pains, these birth pains. So in nation, we are becoming, you know, we are not yet there.
Okay.
Now, we are a little bit too slow for
Very slow.
very, very slow, because we have a lot of things given to us on the platter of gold, really, but we're not seizing advantage of it. I think corruption is the elephant in the room that's spoiling everything. Yeah, if like you mentioned so succinctly, one of the things we do have as a nation that brings us all together is corruption, football,
religion.
even religion is one of the
It
things that
brings
tells us
together
apart.
the southern region.
Yeah,
Islam.
You know, is being used to divide us. Our core values are where the solution lies, but we're not yet seizing it. We need to actually have a national conversation on this. I mean, the book, one of the key things I think the book really does, if we do seize it, is actually have a national conversation on what our values are, what our ideals are. Yeah, if we have that conversation and and we speak about it more often, we'll begin to wait a minute. Yeah, for real. The Fulani, the Igbo, the Benin, the Yoruba, they all have this in common. You know, we all like fufu. You know, you know, or we all love our children. You know, what are our values? We all, nobody wants to die, you know, the right to life, and you know, there are some things that we take for granted. We have to know exactly who we are, what we want. Otherwise, the default setting would set in, and that's what we have. Our default setting is tribalism right now. So our politics is all revolving around where this man is from.
All right. In chapter 6, foreseeing a restructured Nigeria, you included a speech from Emir Sanusi Lamido Sanusi on what will happen if Nigeria is restructured. In the Socratic questioning model, you then asked the question for social media contributors to contribute their thoughts, similar to what Plato published in the Republic. My question is, do you think most of those who agreed with him then will still agree with SLS now, in light of the current Fulani herdsmen crisis?
Wow, that's a good question. The current Fulani herdsmen crisis has ruffled a lot of feathers. Those people who are sentimental, who are emotionally riled up, and you know, are not really focused on the truth, will no longer agree with him. But those people who are not really interested in the person of Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, but are interested in the truth. Did he speak the truth? If he spoke the truth, then the truth hasn't changed, right? They will agree with that truth. The fact that he's a Fulani or that he said it is secondary. Is what he said, is it true? And what he said, if it is true and you still agree with it, you will agree with it. But most Nigerians are very emotional. You know, it's a gift as well. It can also be like a curse. Because of that, they will take it the wrong way. I say, oh, Fulani man, yes, they want to take over Nigeria, Islamization, that, you know. They'll forget about the truth. I've always said that Plato is my friend, Socrates is my friend, but my greatest friend is the truth. And that's my position. As long as my true north is noted and you know, I'm not focused on what personalities, then I can't get it wrong, really. So I think most of them, because I choose my friends, will still agree with the truth. But most of them will disagree or will have issues because Sanusi Lamido said it.
Let me comment on that. I think Lamido said the right things. Yeah. I think he's right.
Right.
One of the things he said is about leadership as well.
Yes.
I think Nigeria's failed to create its own leadership.
Yes.
And the fear is I doubt if we can ever actually create our own leadership that will actually change Nigeria.
You doubt it?
I doubt that very well.
Okay.
That's subject to argument anyways.
Right.
So the thing is, we have different kind of people in Nigeria. We have according to me, we have 4 different kind of people. We first have men. That's men and women that fight for themselves. Then we have tribal men, family men, then tribal men. Then the 4th one is the national men. Sanusi said we have people like Awolowo and Zik. Those are national men in their time. But this season, we've not been able to produce people like that because no one is fighting for Nigeria's national interests.
Very true.
Everybody's fighting for their own pockets.
That's right.
Now, that's why I come up with the fact that I don't see Nigeria producing the leadership because everyone is corrupt, so to say. It's a bold statement, but then a leadership, when you want to see the way the country is being run, the group of sheep led by a lion will destroy a group of lions led by a sheep. So it's all about leadership.
That's right.
So my problem is, like I said, I already asked the question, can we produce the leadership we need? Do you think it's possible?
I think it is. It is possible, and we have some leaders. You see, the problem with Nigeria is there's so much corruption. When I say corruption, I don't just mean like money corruption, perversion, if you will. Let's use another word. There's so much perversion in thoughts, and the result of that thought process that predominantly we have a lot of people who are malfunctioning leaders. There are not enough of good people, good leaders, to make it look like Nigeria is a functional place. Just liken it to viruses, you know. If you have a corrupted software program, you know, it will stop functioning properly. That's what I find to be one of the big problems in Nigeria. However, if we who believe we are doing the right thing continue our numbers and mingle enough and attract more of the like minds, we will overcome those, and sooner or later it become clear that's what democracy is about, right?
Yeah.
That we are now predominantly able to hold sway and change the narrative. Right now, the narrative, those who are holding sway are corrupt, and they are running things in Nigeria. But I believe, I'm true to myself, and I believe I would attract people like myself too. And if we continue like that, the leadership will show. The right kind of leadership will show. And I believe that God hasn't abandoned us. He's working with us. And there are good people there. But, you know, we just have to keep on and not dismiss ourselves. Because that's what they want us to do. Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, if there's so much, a whole lot to say about our country, Nigeria. We can stay here for hours and hours and keep talking. There's going to be another episode. We want you guys to send in your comments, your thoughts, what you think about Nigeria and how we can also restructure. And we'll promise to deliberate on them in our next episode.